Dear friends of love for volleyball, amor por el voleibol, I'm pleased to talk today with a former national player of Yugoslavia and Serbia, 2000 Olympic champion in Sydney, member of the Volleyball Hall of Fame, Special Olympic Global Ambassador and Goodwill Ambassador, and owner and director of Camp Vanje Grbića, and among many other achievements. I mean, Vladimir Grbić. Hello, Vladimir. How are you? Thanks for this conversation and your time.
I'm very good. Thank you.
Fantastic. First of all, please tell me, when did you start playing volleyball and why did you choose volleyball as a sport?
Let's say that volleyball is a family call.
Mm-hmm.
My father, my uncles,
Mm-hmm.
they were volleyball players.
Okay.
My father was the most successful of all brothers. He was very good. He was a captain of the team of Yugoslavia who won the first European medal, 1975,
Mm-hmm.
bronze medal. And he was extraordinary player. Very emotional, very skilled, especially in the block, in reception, in the pipe, defense. And they say that I remind on him a lot because of my character, my way of playing, etc., etc., etc. He took me as a kid when I had 5 years.
Okay.
So my playground was a gym where they had trainings. So practically at the time I was having first games and first toys for volleyballs. And I remember very well the smell of the gym
Okay.
at the
True.
time.
That's true.
So when I decided to start with trainings, I had 9 years as a kid, and I already have seen and felt something of volleyball.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So let's say child of art, like my brother.
Exactly. Your brother Nikolai plays a very, very important player and trainer, and as you are an Olympic champion. Fantastic family. And tell me, Vladimir, please, how and when did you start joining the national team, and how was that sport life of national team for you? You had a very long experience in national player.
Well, I joined the national team in 1991.
Mhm.
Um, we had some tournaments at the beginning. Then we played Mediterranean games. We played a final against Italy. Italy just 1 year before won the world championship against Cuba.
Exactly.
We lose 3-2 in finals. 15-11 if I'm not mistaken, in fifth. And then we had the European Games. I already become a standard member of the national team.
Mm-hmm.
It was a relief for me because finally I could prove to my father that I'm worth
Okay.
his respect and that I have succeeded. And like everything in my life, one thing achieved, I moved the carrot forward, like with the jackass. Always new things to do, always new victories to conquer. And it was like, yeah, a fresh beginning. Then in 92, we were stopped because of the embargo that Yugoslavia had faced.
Mm-hmm.
And until 95, we didn't have any kind of competition. So in 95, we started from the ground, from zero, from qualifications. Uh, we had qualification group. We were first national team to play and represent again our country. It was fantastic because we played the games in the front of 10,000 people, which was amazing.
Amazing.
And we succeed to qualify for European Games, European Championship.
Mhm.
In Athens in 95, where we won the bronze medal. We succeed to repeat the success of 75 and 79. The very next year, in Atlanta, we qualified for the Olympic Games. We unexpectedly won the bronze medal, which was the biggest success of our volleyball until then. And the line of success started to grow. Second on the European, second in the world, and then to, let's say, to make it complete, gold on Sydney Olympics and gold on European Championship 2001.
Past experience. Myself, and I know many people around the world, can't forget the fantastic final in Sydney. Especially, I know you have seen this video many times. This point against Russia, when you jumped over the publicity and returned and blocked, and it was, I think, one of the best points ever in volleyball history. And I have a question for later, but I want to do it now. And because I have read and heard about something you have told before as a concept that you said that you in your country you have a special fighter spirit, and that's I want to ask you because for us in Chile and South America we saw today technology we can see your games on YouTube. I always very surprised your hunger for winning, your power in emotional play. And I think maybe it's because of what you said about this fighter spirit. Please, if you can tell us what is this, where it comes from.
You know, when I had 5 years, my father brought the bronze medal from European Championship. And in the next years, I was stealing his medal. I was climbing on the chair, imagining myself at the podium of the Olympics with the national anthem and entire people proud with me. That was a dream. Dreams are important for goals. But if it remain on dreams, it will be only dream. If you make commitment and you have consistency, you will achieve reality of that goals and that dreams. So one thing that I learned from my father was never give up. Never, ever give up. Because while you are fighting, there is always, even small, but there is a chance to win. If you give up, there is no chance to win. So that's why I stamped on my front phrase, giving up is worse than defeat. Once you give up, you are entering the giving up mentality. It's an attitude. And in that point, you can see that I'm not watching what something happened to me. I don't care. The only thing in that moment was I was thinking what my team needs from me is to save that ball. This is something I have to do for my team. People of my country are waiting for me to do that. So you're not thinking about would that maybe will drive you to injury or I know what. You don't care. It's a faith. It's a faith worth living. You're there in Olympic finals representing your country. You're ready to die. Or you do not participate. Because if you don't feel it that way, you are not worth enough. It's simple. If you are doing the things like that your entire life, no matter what you do, you will be Olympic champion, because it's not about result. It's about achievement and philosophy that you are embracing. That's the point. Because in my team, it was 12 of us. Somebody didn't even came inside of the field, didn't play not even 1 point. And they are also Olympic champions. But with palm of one hand, you can count, maybe with one finger, you can count real Olympic champions in that team. Those who are ready and committed to die for what they are believing. This is something that decides us as a persons and how other people see us. When you are doing things in this way, you are inspiring everybody around you. It's not about interest, it's about responsibility. You know, they say, be careful, because with the things that you are doing, you are inspiring somebody in good or in bad. You know, it's like education of our kids. You can tell them whatever you want, but they will watch you what you do.
Exactly.
So if what you are saying and how you are behaving is not the same thing, they will not believe you. This is 100% commitment. It's like Bushido, samurai code. This is what means not only in sport. This is if you really want to be the number one of your capacity. Not in the world, number one of your capacities. Because many of the people live without discovering what is their 100% potential. Because maybe they are afraid to find out something that they are not liking. You know, maybe they say, no, I'm more capable than this. Somebody steal from me that, or maybe just simply, I don't want to try because maybe I will find out something that I don't like. So they like to be in lie and living a lie instead of, you know, reality maybe is hard, it's rude, but it's the truth. So once you embrace it, you have all chances to be happy, or you will live a lie.
Exactly. It's so true what you're saying, Vladimir. And regarding to volleyball, as in life, as what you're saying is absolutely true. And going back a little in about volleyball, we saw that you played with many great athletes in your team, in your Olympic teams, and the teams you played, the European championships. And what you're saying is so true, because also we saw this spirit or this mystic in the play. We can tell when a team, if their athletes are good players, but they're not a good team, it shows. And in your team, it shows you were a team with mystic, with this fighter spirit that I read about you. Tell me please, after your active life as a player, I know you have this camp, Vanje Grbića. I hope I said okay. And I know that you are teaching your students this mentality. Tell me please what this camp is about and what you're making today with children and the future.
When I finished my active career, I look back and I realized that my success or what I have achieved in the big part, I have great thanks to the people who inspired me. Former players, coaches, players who played with me, etc., 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 players from other sports, inspiration and motivation they gave me was an obligation for me to give it back to those who are coming after us. And to do so, I had to prepare myself well to qualify and quantify this transfer of knowledge and passion in the right way, because today time is not appropriately as it was before. So I had to learn all the skills which were not only off the field, but also in education, psychology, and understand how to do that transfer. It's not about what I'm capable of, but it's also to understand how I can help the kids to get in love with volleyball, especially today when phones, computers, etc. is number one. So I finished University of Sport and Physical Education, and I inscribed myself on PhDs after university.
Yeah.
So now I'm assistant on University of Belgrade on Cathedra of Ball Sports, volleyball, of course, where we are teaching future professors how to work kids in volleyball or help them to grow in life through volleyball. And actually, this is what we do on my camp. I took the coaches which have the same mentality like I do, which is mission for kids and not for gaining money by fee, which today unfortunately is happening, and sharing with them same passion, which would be we divide kids, boys and girls, by age and capacities, by skills in volleyball. So we create homogeneous groups. Normally one should have from 120 until 150 kids, which means normally 10 groups. So we have 20 coaches, which means 2 coaches per 15 kids, more or less. We have a doctor, we have physiotherapists, 2 physiotherapists, sorry. We have a doctor for orthopedics. We have doctors of motor science with us. So what we do, when kids come to camp, we do orthopedic tests. So we understand where are the problems of the kids regarding postural status, which means if they have lordosis, scoliosis, kyphosis, we give exercises to them to become healthy, not watch volleyball in the first place, because it's useless to teach them to play set if they have kyphosis and they cannot play well. First of all, bring them in healthy status, and then we can teach them volleyball. Then we are doing the motor science tests, which is motor development tests, which can help us to understand speed, strength, force, of course, resistance, coordination, agility. So when we get these 2 things, we understand where the kids are and what they have to do to become absolutely healthy and happy to stay in the field. Okay, psychological tests that we do also are serving to us to understand what are the things that kids are afraid, what kind of coaches they like, what kind of games they like. Are they like to be in a stronger or weaker group, etc. So we get response from them to become more efficient. This is helping us to work with them better. Basic program is based on a game, which means to teach them skills which are very difficult. We are using games. I use balloons, So to make them understand how to work more with the legs, that's number one. Two, when we start to teach them one skill, we give them game. 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, 4-on-4. Why? Because then they understand that if they learn the skill well, they will be more successful. So they come to us and they would like to play and learn more. We have kids that are smiling entire camp, and that is the most important thing of all. How is that? I tell them like this: your job is to make mistakes. You didn't come here to be perfect, because if you are hiding yourself, trying to hide the mistakes, I will not be able to help you. So please, you make mistakes. Your mistakes are mine. And we are making relief. Why relief? Because the greatest fear is fear of making a mistake. And dreams of many people are dead because they were afraid to make mistakes, so they didn't even do something. And this is, as you know, this is also in private life. So what I do, first of all, at the beginning, I have motivational speech regarding fear, how to face it, how to get over it, how to embrace it, how to understand that this is just imaginary thing, hypothetical thing, and not reality. That fear is a choice. Danger is real, but fear is optional. So by making mistakes, we are learning. We are not failing. Failing meaning renouncing and not fighting. So when they finish, they, they also cry because they understand that they are healing and they are getting over. So this is not just volleyball or sport camp. This is camp that have life importance. They are learning how to face fear in different segments of life, which under my advisement is very important. So what we are giving them is a little school of life through volleyball. And fundamentally, this is camp all about.
Fantastic. I'm absolutely admire what you're doing, because it's not only volleyball, it's not only sport, it's life, it's
Yes.
values, it's commitment. What you say and what's for me so important is to smile. It's a sport. When we play volleyball, we must smile. We must enjoy this game. We must love this game. It's not to suffer, because obviously we have a learning process, but as you say, and when you tell the children to make mistakes and learn and go up it, I think it's so important. And tell me about this and about your camp and your experience. The children you teach, do you have a following? Do you have contact with them? What they do after your camp? They become volleyball players, or they study in school? What the future of these children are after your camp?
Now, I have kids from 36 countries of all over the world,
Oh, fantastic.
also from Africa,
Okay,
all continents.
okay,
Age is from 8, and we don't have upper limit
okay.
because we had also some players, professional players, which were coming to work with me individually, because as a difference of other camps, I'm there every single day
Okay.
and I'm following the camp from there. My brother, whenever he have opportunity, he comes at least for 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So he can also work with the setters, with the older players. And the good thing is that transfer of knowledge is direct. You know, they don't watch the tapes or something like that. No, we are working individually with the kids. And that is the biggest benefit. For example, what we do is not only correction, but also improvement of single elements, which means reception block, setting, serving, etc., etc., etc. For example, I will give you just stupid example. When you are in tie break, 14-13, and you are serving, what are you thinking about?
Two things: not to lose the
Not to make
mistakes.
not to make mistake, just to put ball on the other side.
Exactly.
And this answer will give you 99.9 players. I spoke with Serbian reception players. Same thing, just reception, 14-13 for opponent, and they have a serve. And they say, I will tell you what you are thinking. I hope they don't serve in me. I hope I don't get ace. I hope ball don't go on the other side. I hope the setter doesn't give ball to me. And I hope that they don't make the last point in me. Answer was yes. I said, okay, just give me one positive thing that you are thinking about. We are afraid and we are cutting our head off by wrong thinking. So why is this happening? Because many of the coaches were not players and there were no transfer of understanding during the game, which would think intellectualization of work means what I have to do to be successful. All training, when we come to training, we are thinking just to do training and that's it, to go on bar, go to have a beer or I don't know what. No, because when it counts on 14-13, we will do the thinking that we were doing on training. If it was zero, we will be afraid, and space for mistake is great. In this way, for example, on serve, first of all, decide where you want to serve, but not in zone. Tennis ball, put the tennis ball exactly there. Control your respiration because you will calm yourself. For example, all players, when they have training of service, heartbeats are 90, but in game, when they have to serve, heartbeats are 160, 170, which is completely different physiological state of the body. It's not the same. So what we have to do is to understand how to equalize conditions. Okay, to have always under control what we have to do. To put the ball in the front of us and with the palm of the hand to guide this ball exactly at the tennis ball. And not to do that 100 times because we are not doing exercises for shoulder. We are trying to understand how is the way of our hand. After 5 times, kids start to smile because they figure out, they understand would this serve would be successful or no. Look, it's so simple, it's so ridiculous, but we are making the science of simple things, which is not. KISS, which means keep it simply stupid. More simple, better it is.
More, but exactly.
And actually everything we have to do, it's very simple. So don't make it more complicated. It's useless.
It's another philosophy of volleyball or of life, of sports, because in my time as a player, we have another school of volleyball, very complicated exercises, very complicated everything. We when we make a mistake where we were punished, it's a new change of life. The world is changing. Fantastic. I think it's fantastic. And tell me, please, Vladimir, I was asking you before about the importance of sport in the country. We in Chile and in the world, we see that you have fantastic tennis players and soccer players, basketball players, and also the female volleyball and it's best in the world. How is it possible? Why are you so good at sport? Is it because of your schools, because of your mentality? Please tell me what is it's about in your country, and why is the sport so important and so good?
Well, you know, you're right. We have a lot of great athletes. Sport is very important, maybe the unique and the only one product that we can export from our country. And many times they ask me, what is that you have? Is that water? Is that food? What is, how? And I say, we are living in the region where all conquerors in history was trespassing.
Okay.
So we had to defend and we have to fight every single day. For 2,000 years of history, we were fighting. If there was not strong opponents, then we were fighting in between us. So the war genes that we have inside of us, we're always asking ourselves to improve ourselves, improvement. So this is something that we have as a genes inside of us. We are always hungry of improvement and to prove something to somebody in good or in bad way. That's why in sports, especially in the team sport, we are very good. One more thing very important is, why so small country with small number of the people is so successful? We don't have so many players, athletes, so we have selection, etc., etc., etc. It's very simple. We are not rich country. We are poor. As a poor country, commodity is not part of our existence and living. Commodity is making genes lazy. If you have good shoes, if you have good uniforms, if you have fantastic conditions, forget it, you will not be athlete. If you have problems, if you are starving, if you are fighting every single day, the value of every single day and fight, you will understand. You will be more mature and you will be more hungry to improve yourself. So this is the main reason why we are as we are, for sure. For example, if you were mentioning tennis players, Novak Djokovic has grown in very difficult environments. His parents risked everything to make him play. He had health issues, but he was so decided to succeed. With 5 years, he said, I will be the number one. So psychologically, he's so strong that no others can be compared to him. You have strong players in tennis. You have entire armies of British and America's guys of newspapers which are trying to kill him and destroy him. Why? Because he's coming from the country that is not very popular. If he is Swiss or American or Spanish, it's much better than Serbian, of course, because Serbian is not very popular. But his caprice many times have shown that if you want to take my crown, you will have to take my head off. And for that, you have to be ready to give your head off too. And not many players, not many persons in the world are ready to do that. He is, and I was.
No.
That's why.
Tell me, please, how's your vision about actual Serbian volleyball? Female volleyball is one of the best volleyball in the world, the national team. And how about men and Serbia? What's your opinion about this?
Well, since 2016, I'm not very near to Serbian volleyball. I was following for how much I could, but women team had a fantastic selection,
Yes.
and that's why they have succeeded to win the World Championship, European Championship, etc., etc., etc. There are two very good players. Team is very good. For men's, we had more problems because number of the players is decreasing.
Okay.
So you're always there running to find the new players, etc., and the number of the players is going down. So let's say that in men's team there will be more problems, much more problems, especially since my brother left, because mentality that my brother was transferring was mentality that we were educated.
Yes.
And I'm afraid that with the loss of that, it will be much more difficult.
I see. I see. Maybe someday it will be your time to make Serbia volleyball fantastic as before. I don't know. I hope this, because what you're telling, what you're teaching is so important, not only in sport, but as a volleyball fan, I love to see good volleyball players, good volleyball teams, and I love especially when, as I told you before, when you see a team that has a mystic, commitment for your country or for your team, for your companions. And I saw this in your team when you played, and in YouTube. I saw many of your plays, of your games and championships. It showed in the technique, the way you played, and it wasn't a technical play, interception, defense, and block. You played with many fantastic players, as your brother, as Vujovic. I don't know how to say Vukovic, Vujovic, and Mikhailovic. Great athletes. I hope you will be again in the Olympian first pole. Um, and I want to thank you again for your time, and make you maybe a few last questions about what you mean for you to have been also a world champion, Olympic champion, to be part of this list of great players in Volleyball Hall of Fame, Special Olympic ambassador. What it means for you, as you started as a little boy watching your father and uncle plays. What it means to you today to be this person admired around the world. As you know, we are talking so far away, and for me and many people, you are a so great inspiration. What it means for you to be this person today.
You know, achieving titles, medals, uh, everything is nice. But for me, it's also great responsibility. What I have done is something that I was capable of. And I have just done what God gave me as a possibility. So I find out that, and I'm very thankful for that. But as I said, I would be happy if I die knowing that I have touched everyone that wanted to listen and wanted to find out how much is he capable of. I would like to touch every kid in Chile to try to start volleyball and smile and be happy, even if this would be just for one time or for one entire life, that volleyball could help him to feel experience of our world, and this can help him to become better person. I believe that everything that we have done in our life serve only for one purpose: to help those after us to become better. And that is the only thing. That's why I'm involved in Special Olympics, which is uh, World of Kids with Intellectual Disability that are living with the world without bars, but they are in prison. They cannot evolve all their capacities. So we are fighting to give them possibilities to play, to enjoy, to be happy. I trying to share what volleyball can really help by teaching how to live life. Because in the volleyball, we are strangers in the field which are trying to help each other to win together. This is like in family, this is like in your company, etc., etc. And volleyball gave me everything to learn to live. So how our young will be tomorrow depends on us, how we prepare them. So everything I have achieved, all my passion, all my knowledge, I will not entertain to myself. I have to give it back or give to them. So the knowledge will be spread, will be known, and will be divided, used in the best way possible. So for me, as a, personal satisfaction, yes, Hall of Fame is very important. Uh, Ambassador, all the medals I get, that's nice. That is mine, but I wouldn't succeed in that without my team, without the people who were winning that with me or people who were inspiring me before. So knowing this, always understanding to give it back.
Vladimir, I only can tell you, even I'm old person, I'm not play volleyball anymore, but you inspire me very much. I only want to now to go outside and play volleyball because what you're saying is so powerful, and for life too. I swear it's so powerful what you're saying, because it's not only sport, it's life. And it's made to what you're telling. I think it's wonderful. So I'm so glad to talk to you. I'm so glad that we could have this conversation, and I hope we can make this another time and keep in touch, because I love volleyball. I love the spirit of a teamwork, to be by side with my teammates and have a common goal. And I hope really we will learn what you're saying, because we are also a small country, and sport is it's not our best thing, but we believe in many. I believe we can make it if we have the mentality and the willing and the spirit. What you're saying, because that's because I'm so touched what you for your words. I only want to thank you again for your time, for your fantastic words and saying. I wish you many health wishes for you and your family. I know we're living in special times around the world, and so I thank you. I'm very happy to talk with you, and that's it. I want to keep in touch with you, and send you the best for you and your camp and your family in Serbia.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.